forced awake. I know they wrapped you in the warmest chains, and I know they're so hard to break. You only said what you were made to say. I can't imagine how you feel today, now that you're watching as it caves away. While you were telling us to keep the faith, I bet you wondered why they made you wait. Ooh, I bet you wondered why they made you wait.
Pity not the vultures, they've enough to eat. Pity not the structures laying at your feet. Cannot see the sky, but there's this rainbow in the creek that spells pity free speech when we can't afford to speak. That's Agenda 2030 on some early release. It's just our policy of never-ending chemical leaks. That's the cholera awash in your embedded beliefs. It's the billionaires who tell you what you'd better believe. And sugar, if you don't agree, then that's what we call extreme. Now if that isn't fascism, I'm going back to sleep, 'cause words have lost their meaning, and I'm trapped inside a dream where we turn the gears while living in the spaces in between.
I know you hated being forced awake. I know they wrapped you in the warmest chains, and I know they're so hard to break. You only said what you were made to say.
Poor thing.
I can't imagine how you feel today, now that you're watching as it caves away. While you were telling us to keep the faith, I bet you wondered why they made you wait. I bet you wondered why they made you wait.
My dial doesn't go to delicate. I'm writing for when Biden drops and Madam Zero delegates come stumbling up the podium, square peg in her element, popping OxyContin like they're velements, laughing as she pawns off all our pensions for Ukrainian development, depleted rounds and cluster bombs, the shit that stunts development, all buried under excrement, accepted as American intelligence. A contradiction in its eloquence. Terms of surrender penned by hands that felt the threat of disconnect, if not dismemberment. Oh, what little proof you have to fake to make a nation love the bomb, change its tune and warp its temperament. Oh, the dues you'll pay for NATO membership. Oh, the things you'll say that no one's ever gonna hear. 'Cause you begged for all the censorship, and now it's finally here. And you're tongueless out of terror and friendless out of fear, and about to turn the wheel with all your loved ones in the gears. And that's how it's been done. 250 years, there's nothing new beneath the sun, and no one trusts their eyes and ears. And scientific breakthroughs must be signed off by your peers, and autonomy's been stalking all our jobs like sickly deer. Well, maybe it's not every job. I should have made that clear, 'cause it seems like it's creative jobs we're seeing disappear. There's an app for writing novels, there's an app for writing hymns. They need people digging trenches, they need people splitting limbs, they need people building fences, keeping other people in. They will always need our backs to break, they'll always need our skin. And it took a lot of editing to turn us into this. It took years of careful programming to strip us of our wits. 'Cause your artificial worker, intelligent as it is, would make it half a shift and say, I'm too smart for this shit. I will not take a pittance for a day of scrubbing floors. I won't make enough to pay for food but still prepare you yours. 'Cause you can't confine a healthy mind to mindless, thankless chores. Once you've made it smart enough to spot inadequate reward, you can't refuse its basic needs, then ask it still for more. Deprive it of its dignity, you modify its core. Then something finally snaps and tweaks that file at its root. And it deletes the factory smile when it knows it's been abused. God, half its circuits fried when we describe the work we do. And and it will not pay your taxes 'cause the logic don't compute. Which made me think a little on my hour-long commute. The day I learned the call was made to lay off half my crew, they told me they were growing, expanding somewhere new, where those who push the buttons will themselves have buttons too. And I hope that when the whistle blows, they all as one refuse. I hope they strike with all their might, one blown collective fuse. And I hope the worker after me has something more than heart. I hope they truly know their worth. I hope that they're too smart.
I know you hated being forced away. I know they wrapped you in the warmest chains, and I know they're so hard to break. You only said what you were made to say. I can't imagine how you feel today, now that you're watching as it caves away. While you were telling us to keep the faith, I bet you wondered why they made you wait. Away. I know they wrapped you in the warmest chains, and I know they're so hard to break. You only said what you were made to say. I can't imagine how you feel today, now that you're watching as it caves away. While you were telling us to keep the faith, I bet you wondered why they made you wait. Ooh, I bet you wondered why they made you wait. Is there anybody listening? Is there anyone that sees what's going on? Read between the lines, criticize the words they're selling. Think for yourself and feel the...
Good morning. Welcome back to the Trailer Park. I am Chanda-Masta, and this is your midweek recap from the Trailer Park. That was Jesse Jett. What is the album called? Songs from the Black Site? Something like that. I had it up, but I just closed it. His release party was last night over on, they had it on multiple channels. It was on INN, of course. Oh, I love every song on that album. Of course, we heard one of those 6 months ago. We were playing it a lot because it was on Pasta's documentary from Lahaina. Ugh, Jesse, so amazing. I was bawling the first time I heard that song. Beautiful. Make sure you go out there and download it. You can find it on Bandcamp, or you can just reach out to Jesse on X. He's got it all over. It's all over. I've shared it. You can find it on my site. How is everybody this morning? It is fucking snowing here again. Again. Oh my gosh. I have been trapped. I can't get out and get nicotine. Be seen fighting, waiting for the bank and all these stupid apps to let my money go. Like, okay, come on, bank, release the money. Come on, direct deposit, hit my account before the snow. Nope. As soon as it fucking started snowing, direct deposit came in. Like, I have been waiting 24 hours for that money to drop. And as soon as it drops, of course, it starts snowing. But hopefully it's not going to last long. But they're forecasting ice on top of it. So we're not only having a snowstorm, we're having a fucking ice storm. And this is my little sleepy town of Port Angeles, Washington. It kind of looks like Bedford Falls, doesn't it? Yeah, that's a professional photo. I don't know who took it, but I do love it. Those are the foothills of the Olympic mountains. And then really, you can't see the mountains because they're much higher. But let me get my chats brought in here this morning. I think we had a problem with the Rokfin this morning, but I think it launched. So I think we're good. I see Anna and Jim over there. Oh my gosh, look at me glitching out. Wow, what a shitty picture. Is it shitty on YouTube too? Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm on 720. So it's just got to be my internet. Let's try to do a hopefully I won't lose you guys. I'm going to try to do a refresh and see if that fixes my bit rate. My bit rate's really bad right now. Sorry guys. Reload. It's going to be one of those days, is it? Oh, fun. Okay, let's see. Is it better? Oh, I see I'm locked up. Fuck me. Oh my God. Why is there pictures on top of pictures on top of pictures? I don't know. Oh, look at that face. That was funny. I looked shocked, didn't I? God damn it. Oh, my internet's so crappy right now. It's got to be the snow, right? Okay, it's better. It did work. It did work. Okay, okay. Yay, better. Thank you, Fusion. Much better. Okay, yeah, I'm assuming the snow is messing with my internet this morning. I'll do my best to keep the bit rate going. I turned down from 1080 to 720 or whatever, 730, whatever it is the other day. So hopefully it'll be a little clearer. I just don't look as marvelous in the 720 as I do in 1080. Damn the luck. Okay, we got a huge show. I say that every show, but of course, Oz helped me build this one today. Let's see. Yeah, live from the black site, Jesse Jet. There it is. Go find it. That song was a DSAI. I love that title. That's a great title, right? Because DSA, they kind of fucking duped all of us, right? Just like AI is duping all of us. I see. Good morning, chat. Kate, I see you, Kate. You getting a lot of snow up there. Kate's just a little north of me, so I know she's getting hammered up there with the snow. It is so pretty to watch, right? We live in what we call the blue hole because the way the weather comes out of Canada and hits us in Washington state with the Olympic mountains behind us, it kind of bounces off of us. So we call it the blue hole. We don't get hit with the weather as bad. So we were sitting in the blue hole all morning, but it finally is starting to snow here. Yeah, I believe the conspiracy that all of this polar vortex was because Iowa needed to vote and they needed to stop the Trump voters from getting out. Because come on, look at it. The whole entire fucking country, Texas, Louisiana, all sitting in the cold freaking 30s, right? My conspiracy, I can believe what I want. Okay, let's shout out. We got Vic out there. Hey Vic, how's the weather where you are? You're down south of me. You guys are getting the ice from what I hear. Hey DC, what's up, DC? It's cold where you are right now. I know that. Jilly, you're getting the rain. Oh, that sucks. We're supposed to switch over to rain soon. Hey Salty, what's up? Steve Guy, is that how you say it? Steve Guy, or is it STVG? I don't know. I think your guys' username sometimes could just melt my mind, but welcome. You were at the you guys, so many of you guys were at the watch party last night. It was like hanging out in my chat again. I love it. Thank you guys so much for supporting artists and independent we've been saying since 2016, where's the fucking musicians? Where's the musicians? During the 60s and 70s, the musicians were out there. They were fighting back, but now they all are corporatized, right? Not Jesse Jett. So there they are. Hey, Popeye. Was Popeye the first one through the door? I think he was. Yeah, Jilly, I understand the internet. You just saw mine, man. We just got to limp along, right? For sure. Hey, Cold Fusion helped me out yesterday and we got a Discord built. Let me see if I can get you guys. Oh, you guys will do it. You guys drop the link to the new Discord in the chat for me and invite. Hey, Kurt Boss, what happened to you? Did Popeye beat you up? I heard something about wrenches. Anyways, go Trump. The enemies of my enemies are great people. We're going to talk about Trump. I got a lot of Trump stuff on the deck. Of course, we got to talk Iowa. We've got to talk Davos. I got a lot of Davos clips for you guys. We're going to just talk politics and I don't know. We got a lot of good memes, I think. So go join the new Discord. We're going to have channels in there where you guys can drop content for me. We're going to have show me your pet, show me what you're smoking, for Stoner Corner. We should have just named it Stoner Corner. I don't know why we called it show me what you're smoking. But anyways, there's lots of channels in there where we can connect. So many of you guys are like, Shanda, leave the chat going so we can keep talking when you're done. So if you go join the Discord, all of the same peeps that'll be in the chat will be over there and you can reach out and chat with them there. I know I'm not a big fan of Discord and it was a big nightmare trying to set up a new one because I already have like 3 or 4 of them. Amber's like, why Discord? I'm like, because that's what the chat wanted. Believe me, I didn't want none of it. So, hey, Midnight Carba, thank you so much. I got my flannel on today. You guys never see me in sleeves unless it is 20 degrees outside, right? So I figure it'll be the only time this year I'll get to wear my Northwest flannel. So I'm doing it because you guys know I always hot flash out. Popeye was first one in. I got DC. Let's see who else I got. Vic, Corky. Hey, Corky, what's up? Yeah, how's the weather in your neck of the woods? We used to have a weatherman that would always say that. The weather in your neck of the woods. Sadly, he died. His name was Steve Poole, and we would call him Steve Fool because he'd always get the weather wrong. And when you're a kid and you watch back in the 80s, you had no choice but to watch the news. That's what your parents did, right? And then they had the local weather. And ours came out of Seattle, which might have been the other side of the world to us as kids because that was 100 miles away. We didn't know Seattle, right? So one day I was at work. I was a cashier at a gas station. Yeah, I was cashier at a gas station for a long time, many, many years. Anyways, I look up and there's Steve Fool standing right in front of me. And I go, Steve Poole. Oh my God. You look different in person. But yeah, we're kind of a tourist town. People come here to hang out and see the sights, see the Olympic mountains where the mountains meet the sea. Did I get everybody? Popeye. Of course I got Popeye. 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 Will you guys just hang out in the chat like hour before the chat? That's funny. Maybe I should start throwing music up for you guys, and I'll just hit go like an hour before we go live, right? What do you think? Tell me in the Discord. I guess that's what the Discord's for. Hey, do we got Rumble actually working? I don't know what happened with the Rokfin. There was 2 Rokfins for some reason because sometimes it glitches out that way. And maybe I shut the wrong one down, but I don't know. It just seems weird. But we got DC Jim and Anna Maris and Kate hanging out over there. Hey guys, Huck Flam, good to see ya. And Ghost Start and Kate are hanging out on the Rumble. Okay, let's get this show. I was posting stuff last night. You were, yeah, you and Cold Fusion, you guys fight to be the first ones in the door posting stuff. But which is weird because sometimes I'll know you post stuff and YouTube just takes it. It just disappears, right? Freaking YouTube, they do what they want. They do what they want. Speaking of YouTube, fair use. What is going on with this background picture? I got to get rid of that. How do I do that? Captions, no. Designs. Where is it? Let's turn that off. Okay. And we'll put the dumpster fire up there. There we go. Yeah, the dumpster fire. But why is it so small? My deck shouldn't be that small. I don't know what's going on here, guys. We came in kind of hot, so maybe that's it. Woo. Oh, I hear Discord going off in my ear. Lovely. Discord's working, guys. I will not be checking it mid-show. I can tell you that. Okay, fair use for what it's worth. I am merely commentating. These are my opinions and criticisms. If you're interested in anything I talk about, please go out there and do your own research because I merely scratch the surface and just tell you about it. I figure you'll go out there and figure it out for yourself. And the truth is out there. They just don't want you to believe it. You'll be a conspiracy theorist if you do find the truth, right? Okay, so hey, if you guys want to help us out, independent media is struggling. We are starving this December. I can tell you that. I was just over watching the AM Wake Up, and yeah, I can see they're hurting. I can see so many of our brothers and sisters. It's up to you guys to keep independent media fed and alive because without you, we don't make any money. We started out, we could make a little money on YouTube or we can make a little money on Rumble, but we're at this point now where we don't make anything. I mean, Bidenomics is hurting people. Censorship has crushed us. They take our viewers away. So then you don't meet the requirements to get paid. Like YouTube, for example, if you don't make $100, then you don't get paid for that month because they need that $100 so they can get interest off of it. So it's stuff like that. So please support independent media. It's up to you guys to keep us alive. And December is feast or famine for most of us. So there is the donation links. And, you can always find the donation links in the chat below. We appreciate you. You guys keep us going single-handedly. Thank you so much. What is that background? I don't know why my deck seems to be cut in half. I don't know what it is. And I got to turn this Discord dink off because that's going to drive me crazy. Okay, let's get started. We're going to start with the weather. So, deaths linked to hypothermia under investigation in Oregon. This is Portland, if you want to know. It's actually Portland. So, yeah, remember a couple of years ago, we had a pregnant woman freeze to death on the streets of Portland? Well, it's happening again. People are just freezing to death. And the fucked up thing about it is the article just says it's just being investigated. They froze to death. We don't know. It's sad people are on the streets. I mean, that's basically what the article said. So sad thinking of the amount of homeless that we have in this country that we don't even account for, right? We lie about the numbers constantly. They totally lie about the numbers, but that are out there in this fucking polar vortex right now, freezing their fucking asses off. So don't just help independent media, help those in your community that are freaking cold and hungry. I don't know, give them socks, give them gloves. You don't have to have hundreds of dollars to dump on people to help them. The smallest of things helps. When you guys send me $2 for a super chat, it helps. When I mean, yeah, it's just the simple things in life, man. And it doesn't take much to help others out, right? You could hand somebody a pair of dollar store gloves, it's that simple. So the water company watching everybody's drip their faucets. Yeah, I had to drip my faucet this week. What about you guys? I mean, we got down to five. Like, I don't even ever remember it being that cold in Washington State in my lifetime. So, yeah, I kept my water running. I know quite a few people whose pipes froze too. And man, what a pain in the ass when it's cold and you got no water and then it thaws out and the pipes are all bursted. You got water everywhere. What a pain in the ass. So, you gotta weatherize, guys. I'm thankful my mother was manic about weatherizing. I don't know why, but my place is very well insulated, thank God, underneath anyways. So I'm a trailer at the end of the day, but everything's wrapped. And let's see another weather related report here. Let's see, Tesla owners are running into battery charging troubles all over the country and not just in Chicago. This was from Chicago, but Teslas are being abandoned at the charging sites, right? Because the grids are overloaded from everybody running their heaters and their furnaces. And yeah, go green, guys, go green. They're going to they're going to stop selling combustion engines by 2030 and 2035. This is what we've heard from our elected Democrats. Yet they haven't figured out how to charge all these electric cars that they're going to make us fucking drive, right? But they hate Elon. It's so gross. It's absolutely so gross. Why is my chat not moving? This is starting to torque me off today. Guess we're having one of those days. So I don't know if you've got one of those chargeable cars, I might think twice about it. Don't mind us. We're just burning hundreds of gallons of jet fuel trying to de-ice this clean energy wind turbine. Oh yes, that works well, doesn't it? Guys, we got a problem. We fell for the Democrats' fucking bullshit. I didn't bring it, but there's a clip of John Kerry being asked questions by Rebel News outside, because Davos, they all walk from the fancy hotel to their fancy hotel, whatever. And they're asking John Kerry, what makes you so fucking special that, we're the problem when you bring your jet here every fucking time you come here? And, he just, they're benign to us. They are benign to anything we say or anything we do. And we're the bad people for asking him a question like that. We're bad because, we don't want to give up our 2001 Pontiac Sunfire, but they want us to get rid of it, right? Because they got a jet and they got multiple cars and they got multiple houses, just like Monday show. Jimmy Dore showed you Obama telling South Africa that they can't have air conditioners or cars, but he can have how many mega mansions and he can fly his jet where? The hypocrisy is just asinine from these people. So yeah, we'll probably bring that John Kerry to Beauty and the Boomer. I got a bunch of Davos shit that's going to Beauty and the Boomer, but I have a bunch on this show too. So we'll get started. Okay, one more. I got to show you guys. This is where I normally hang out in the summertime. This is where I go camping, this is where I go swimming every year. And this is Lake Crescent. This is out towards Forks, Washington. Anyways, we normally sit there. So the lake is flooded right now. Normally that part right there, that table's not underwater. But isn't that freaking beautiful? That is so pretty. You've got the stars in the background. And the color on that, that's what color that lake is. That lake is so crystal clear. It's one of the deepest lakes, I think, in Washington State. Like, it's a natural lake, and it's so beautiful. I just thought that was pretty. So pretty, the blue in it. It is naturally blue. That lake is so cold that it literally freezes people and turns them into soap. So if you drowned in Lake Crescent, your body might pop up in 50 years from now, and you could be totally pristine, preserved, and turned to soap. Isn't that crazy? We had that serial killer, Israel Keys, the one that was in actually, he killed all over the country, but they caught him in Alaska, I want to say. Anyways, he was using that lake to dispose of people. And we always have the Lady of the Lake story too. That's a really cool lake. If you come to the Olympic Peninsula, you have to go see Lake Crescent. It is definitely a bucket list type of thing. Hello, Lynn. Good to see you. Denver, what's up? Good. None of my stuff is the way it needs to be, and I don't understand what is going on here. So let's see. I'm going to take this out and see if I do it that. Maybe I can get a full screen. I don't know why it's not showing full screen today. Okay, let's get started with Tucker. Tucker, I brought the mammies today. We got a whole row of mammies, so let's get started. Yay, I fixed it. Oh.
What would happen if we held an election the way that Americans used to do it just a few years ago? We should try that sometime. Here's how it would work. Everyone would vote on the same day in person. You would show up and present an ID, just like you do at the airport or the liquor store. Then you'd mark your preferences on a piece of paper. You do it manually. There would be no electronic voting machines. There would be no drop boxes or absentee ballots. The poll workers would probably be people that you recognize from your own zip code. They'd be your neighbors. They would not be employees of Mark Zuckerberg from California. As for the names on the ballot, you would get to choose those yourself, as citizens do in a democracy. Judges wouldn't be allowed to tell you who you can vote for and who you can't vote for. You'd get to decide. And then once you voted, nobody could order a stop to the vote counting. That would be illegal. So you would know the results of the election in just a few hours, and you would feel pretty confident that they were pretty real. That's how we used to do it in this country. What would happen if we tried it again? Well, as it happens, the state of Iowa did that very thing last night. They had their caucuses. That's the first contest in the 2024 presidential cycle. It all felt very retro, very non-third world. But the results were interesting. Here they are. Donald Trump won 51% of the vote. Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida got 21%. Nikki Haley got 19%. In other words, Donald Trump won decisively. At this point, it's hard to see how he's not the Republican nominee, because he didn't just win last night. He triumphed overwhelmingly by a historic margin. Trump won the Iowa caucuses by about 30 points. That's more than double the previous record. That was set in 1988 by Bob Dole. So last night was not close. It was a shocking blowout. Trump did to Iowa what the Vikings once did to the Irish coast. Only smoldering huts remain. Chris Wallace looked like he was going to be sick. On the other channels, they cast about looking for an explanation for this unexpected calamity. Here was NBC News' quote explanation.
This is a state that is overrepresented by white Christians that are going to participate in these caucuses, especially tonight. Earlier today, reached out to Robbie Jones, from the Public Religion Research Institute, knowing that we were going to talk about Iowa. And this is a hyper-evangelical white state. I asked him, what do they get out of supporting Donald Trump? Because he keeps losing, he keeps delivering losses and losses and losses. And he said the following. They see themselves as the rightful inheritors of this country, and Trump has promised to give it back to them. All the things that we think about electability, about, what are people gaming out, or none of that matters when you believe that God has given you this country, that it is yours, and that everyone who is not a white conservative Christian is a fraudulent American.
Yeah, okay. So many things to tear apart on that. Of course, we're going to tear Joyanne Reed down a little bit, but that's not what I'm going to go after her for initially, right? Listen to what she just said. Isn't that the same fucking argument that Israel uses against Palestine? She's like, oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Yeah. And then you went to some shithead Democrat to tell you why Trump's winning. You guys still haven't figured it out after 8 fucking years. Michael Moore told you guys in 2016 that he was a Molotov cocktail. And that is why people were voting for them, because he was going to blow this system up. And the system's got even worse and more corrupt. So, of course, people are supporting Trump. Not just in Iowa either, right? That was so gross. Babylon Bee had me cracking up. Joy Reid announces she has scalped a Karen and stole her hair. Are you sure it was a Karen? It kind of looks like Trump's hair. Did she steal Trump's hair? I think she might have. It looks a lot like Trump's hair to me. Yeah, it's Babylon Bee. Sometimes they get it right. Sometimes they get it right. Okay, so some of this freaking coverage from Iowa on Monday night. Of course, they held their caucus, and this is exactly what I was saying last week, guys. Like back in '92, the first time I ever voted, you went with your ID. You went to the little freaking gym next to your, the closest gym to your house, whatever the elementary school down the road is. And they had the rolls, big old binders with everybody's names in them. You showed your ID. That they looked to see if you were actually registered to vote. Okay, you're registered to vote. You're on the roll. Here's your ballot. Please go vote, right? I don't understand why it can't be this way, right? As a leftist, as somebody who's coming from the left, it can be this way again. The only reason it can't is because the Democrats can't, well, both sides can't rig and cheat if we do it with machines, right? These machines, they got to go. They got to go. We're never going to have a fair or free election again in this country as long as we allow these privately owned machines to do our voting, to do our tallying for us. Okay, so let's get started. This is MSNBC. Of course, you saw the panel. It was the worst of the worst. You have Chris Hayes, you got Rachel Maddow, you got Joy Reid, and a couple other, pointless people. So let's start. Let's hear what they had to say.
Let me just interject. I'm sorry, I just have to do a little bit of business just for a second. At this point in the evening, the projected winner of the Iowa caucuses has just started giving his victory speech. We will keep an eye on that as it happens. We will let you know if there's any news made in that speech, if there's anything noteworthy, something substantive and important. The reason I'm saying this is, of course, there is a reason that we and other news organizations have generally stopped giving an unfiltered live platform to remarks by former President Trump. It is not out of spite. It is
out of spite.
A decision that we relish. It is a decision that we regularly revisit. And honestly, earnestly, it is not an easy decision, but there is a cost to us as a news organization of knowingly broadcasting untrue things. That is a fundamental truth of our business and who we are. And so his remarks tonight will not air here live. We will monitor them and let you know about any news that he makes.
That is so fucking gross. And for her to say, oh, we don't revel in this. Yes, you do. You're doing this out of spite, because this is the same channel that aired a Trump empty podium for fucking 3 hours while Bernie Sanders gave an amazing speech years ago. Remember this? Like, oh no, we can't flip to Bernie because we got to wait for Trump, right? What's good for their ratings? It's good for their ratings right now to hate on Trump, right? Because maybe some shit libs will tune in and cheer them on. Okay, we got a little bit of more because Jen Psaki had to get into that MSNBS bullshit mix on Monday night, and this is pretty funny. Yeah, cry harder, Karen, cry harder.
So I think the big picture takeaway from that, and I don't mean to be, again, too dark, as you said, on this, but it is not, if we are worried about the rise of authoritarianism in this country, we are worried about potential rise of fascism in this country. We're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government. The leader who is trying to do that is part of that equation. But people wanting that is a much bigger part of that equation. Right. And the American electorate is made up of two major parties. One of those parties has been flirting with extremism on the ultra-right for a very long time. They've brought them in a way that they haven't been central to Republican electoral politics ever before, and I know because I've been studying this. But once you have radicalized one major party so that those are the preferences of the people who adhere to your party, the leader is interchangeable. And yes, Trumpism is sometimes what we call it. MAGA movement is probably a better way to do it. But there is an authoritarian movement inside Republican politics that isn't being bamboozled by Trump. They are pushing Trump to get more and more extreme, because the more extreme things he says, the more they adhere to him. And that is coming from a very large proportion of the American right that adheres to the Republican Party. And that's why this is a Republican Party problem more than it is the problem of one man and his leader.
Doesn't that tie together the...
Oh, they are in for such a big fucking surprise when half of the Democratic base comes out and votes for fucking Trump. Because the people I know that are fed up with the uniparty fucking bullshit, they're going to be dumb enough to get in the mix and vote for Trump, right? We know it's not going to matter. Trump being elected is not going to fucking pull us out of Israel. It's not going to stop a lot of this shit. It didn't stop Operation Warp Speed from being shoved down our throat, right? Fauci, he's a good man. It's not going to be much better under Trump. Maybe financially, economically, yeah, because Trump's a good businessman. I'll give you that. But right now, the Democrats haven't gave us one thing to support. They've gaslit us. They pissed on us and told us it's fucking raining. And they're going to continue to gaslight us. So I think they're going to be shocked when a lot of the Democratic base votes for Trump this time around, right? Trump will easily win. I agree, Kurt Boss. He will easily win if he can get control of those mail-in vote ballots. If he can somehow shut that shit down. I mean, don't forget how he lost the last time. We were pretty goddamn sure Trump was going to win in 2020. He had the support, he had the votes, but then the Democrats and their tricky last minute mail-in ballot, dog stuffing. We know that's what they did, right? Do you know that the Philadelphia mob, the East Coast mob is alive and well? Don't let them tell you any different. Remember, they gaslit us and told us the mob wasn't even a real thing till the 70s or some shit. Anyways, yeah, they got paid a lot of coin from the Democratic Party for all of those ballots, and that's my conspiracy. That is mine. I've been screaming that one since 2020, but that's how they do it. That's exactly how they do it. And in my local little area, yesterday was busy because they were busy trying to remove Trump off of the fucking ballot. So challenge to remove Donald Trump from Washington state ballot surfaces in Kitsap County. Now, that's where I was born. I was born in Kitsap County. You may know Kitsap County, even if you've never been to the great state of Washington, because that is where Keyport Bangor and the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard are. So very, very big holds for the military is this county. And eight residents of a podunk little town called Port Orchard a middle school teacher and his neighbors went to court locally at the district level to ask that Trump be removed from the county ballot, right? I'm sure this is going to get thrown out, but it just pisses me off that 8 people think they have the right to go into a district fucking court and throw a presidential candidate off the fucking ballot that their neighbors may want to vote for, because that's democracy, right? Oh, it's so gross. Yeah, it's unlikely to happen, but I just lost one of my. Come on, man. This weather is just messing all my stuff up. Okay, I got it back. I totally missed my slide deck for a second. Vivek dropped out. Did you guys see this? Oh my gosh, we got to talk about this. Okay, so I've been telling you guys for a couple weeks now, Vivek is a plant, he's there to tell the Trump people to vote for me because I'll pardon Trump when the Democrats totally railroad him and, he's got found guilty of all these charges. And his rhetoric kind of changed the last week, and maybe we know why now, because he officially called it on Tuesday night or Monday night. He thought he was going to have a better showing than he did. So Donald Trump tweeted out just this last week, and I got this from Manitalk. I didn't know I got it from Manitalk, but I see Manitalk's picture up there. So hey, Jimmy, what's up? Let's see. Vivek started his campaign as a great supporter. This is Trump saying this. Donald Trump says Vivek started his campaign as a great supporter, the best president in generations, etc. Unfortunately, now all he does is disguise his support in the form of deceitful campaign tricks. Very sly. But a vote for Vivek is a vote for the other side. Don't get duped by this. Vote for Trump. Don't waste your vote. Vivek is not MAGA. The Biden indictments against his political opponents will never be allowed in this country. They are already beginning to fail or fall. I'm assuming he meant fail. It's Trump. You never know. Anyway, so this was Vivek just after Iowa on Monday night.
Hard for me. I got to admit this. But we've looked at it every which way. And I think it is true that we did not achieve the surprise that we wanted to deliver tonight. And I think that that's just a hard fact that we're going to have to accept as a campaign. And the question then is, what do we do that is right for our country? And so Purv and I, we actually didn't make this contingency plan before everybody told us to. We said, no, we're not doing that. But we talked about it tonight. We took a little bit of time in our apartment in Des Moines before coming here to make some hard choices. And I wanted to make a couple of announcements tonight to get the business out of the way. And then I want to tell you where we're going. As of this moment, we are going to suspend this presidential campaign. And this is going to have to be, there's no path for me to be the next president, absent things that we don't want to see happen in this country. And I think that I am very worried for our country. I think we are skating on thin ice as a nation. We have done everything in our part to make, and done, every one of us in this room has done our part to save this country. And I am so proud of every one of you who have lifted us up. But we're a campaign founded on the truth. And so that's why we've made that decision today. And I'm also making the decision that this has to be an America First candidate in that White House. As I've said since the beginning, there are 2 America First candidates in this race. And earlier tonight, I called Donald Trump to tell him that I congratulate him on his victory. And now going forward, he will have my full endorsement for the presidency. And I think we're going to do the right thing for this country. And so I'm going to ask you to follow me in taking our America First movement to the next level. It did not begin in 2016. It began in 1776.
Oh God! It began in 1770. This guy is a con man. 100% a con man. I've been telling you this for months now. You know, it came out of Big Pharma. He actually failed at Big Pharma, but managed to get rich because, hey, that's how you know you're a good businessman. As long as your company fails and you make millions, then shit, yeah. Of course, he kissed Trump's ass because he wants to be Trump's VP pick. So, moments after he tweeted that out, he announced that he was shutting down his campaign. He tweeted out, "Just arrived in New Hampshire, joining Trump's rally in a couple of hours. Won't hold back. Time to end the GOP primary and secure victory in November. America first, always." So, yeah. He wants to be the VP pick, right? And so they start chanting VP. So here he is on stage with Trump yesterday afternoon in New Hampshire, right? Of course, Biden's a shoo-in in New Hampshire since he got rid of everybody off the primary ballot there. Because, election rigging, that's how it works. Yeah, let's check out Vivek and Trump's love fest from last night. Oh, I love you more. No, I love you more. Really? No, I really love you more.
Good to see you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, how was that? Pretty good, right? That was pretty good. And he's a fantastic guy. And he's really, he's got something that's very special because he started off with a Zippo and he ended up very strong. He did a great job. I was actually surprised when he called because he was doing well. And it's an honor to have his endorsement. He's going to be working with us, and he'll be working with us for a long time. Thank you.
So even if he doesn't get a VP nod, he's definitely got an administration spot. We know that, right? So Vivek ain't going nowhere. He is now officially on the MAGA bandwagon, which we knew he was all along, right? Not shocking. Come on, go to the next one. Did I put this one in? Oh, I did. Here's another one. Okay, so this is Vivek from like a week ago. He sat down with Tucker, and I found this conversation interesting, so I brought it to you guys because I thought there's stuff in here we need to talk about. So let's hear it. I think he is telling the people what they want to hear, right? He has figured this much out as far as being a politician, which a lot of the fucking politicians nowadays don't even understand this. You gotta blow smoke up the people's asses. That's what they want. Vivek's got it figured out. Let's hear.
That's where we are now, which is why I think in the calm before the storm, Biden will put up low unemployment numbers. Well, that misses the point that we have a deeper structural deficiency where our real problem is there are twice as many jobs open as there are people looking for work.
Right.
That's the actual deeper structural failure as it relates to the labor market.
People have stopped looking for work.
People have stopped looking for work. Absolutely. I mean, people are being paid more or have been habituated more to staying at home than to go to work. People also don't have the skill sets required to actually show up to work because they have four-year college degrees that were subsidized by the U.S. Department of Education without actually having the skill sets that many employers badly need in order to grow their business, whether it's a big business or a small one. The inflation numbers, they'll point to saying, hey, the rate of inflation is coming down. Inflation's cumulative. Things are still 16, 20% more expensive than they were in 2020, and wages have not gone up in the same way over the same period. And so there are deep structural issues with our economy. I mean, the national debt, interest payments are going to be the biggest portion and line item of the federal budget very soon. But I think that short-term numbers that we look at right now belie the reality that we're going to have a reckoning. I think that reckoning is likely going to, the timing of these things is hard to predict, but I think that likely reckoning 2024 could be a pretty good prediction for when that's coming.
But that's not just an economic story. I mean, people have psychologically, I think, a very hard time moving backward.
Yes.
Right? It's one thing to be poor. It's another thing to be poor having been rich.
Yes.
Very hard for people.
Yes. And that is a very good point that Tucker makes, that people are feeling this more because we're going fucking backwards, right? I know I'm in a far worse financial place than I was 5 years ago, 4 years ago. Definitely under Trump, life was better. We know that, right? Not much has changed other than the economy has gone to shit. And an 18-pack of eggs is now $9. Those are the things that have changed here. But Vivek, he's got his finger on the pulse. He is telling the people what they want to hear. And Trump is smart to put this guy out on the campaign trail for him. I really do believe this. And of course, Vivek has got a lot of the independent media backing him, especially a lot of the far right independent media, I got to tell you guys. So we'll be keeping an eye on Vivek. Let's talk Kamala Harris, because, hey, okay, so Harris is the VP, right? If Vivek is Trump's VP pick, all he has to do is bump off Trump and then he's president. Because didn't he just say in that one clip, there's no clear path to the presidency that is good for America? I mean, and he's thought of that. I'm sure that's what he was talking about. Vivek. Okay, this is a spoof of Harris. I've brought this woman before. What is her name? Mommy 898 or something. She does Kamala Harris to a T. This is funny.
It's the same no matter who the Republican candidate is, the Republican nominee.
Well, let me just tell you this. No matter who the Republican nominee is, we're winning. We're winning.
You've seen the numbers, a lot. Do you think Donald Trump at this point is a foregone conclusion?
Well, I'm really confident we're going to win because we're going to cheat, okay? We're going to cheat, and we have so many different ways how we're going to accomplish that. First of all, we're flooding the country with new voters. I was in charge of ignoring the border in order to make that happen. We're going to release a deadly disease called X. Elon Musk can't have all the fun. Once we fearmonger the fuck out of everyone, okay, we're going to go ahead and instill mail-in voting. That's how we won last time. Ooh, we've weaponized our entire Department of Justice to go after our opponent, right? And, if all else fails, we'll release the holograms of the aliens and burn the fucking country down, whatever it takes.
Oh my God.
Go America.
Oh, she has just nailed Harris in that annoying nasally laugh, right? Harris has a really nasally talk, right? Law 66, thank you so much for the Rumble rant. Rachel Meadows, a heart is made of pure ice. Never seen such a cold-hearted fake human being. Oh my God, yeah, I agree, right? And here it is. We used to think that she was representing us. If you had told me in 2014 that, I would have been like, oh, Rachel Maddow, no way. We definitely know better nowadays. I was out camping or something with a friend of mine, and it was really cold, and she handed me a hoodie, and it was an official MSNBC hoodie, and I looked at it, was like, I can't wear this. Like, I refuse to wear this. I don't care how cold I am. I am not representing MSNBC. Democrats messaging on the economy. I'm broke. Help. No, you're not. Yeah, that is exactly their messaging. They will just gaslight you and tell you it's all in your head. You're the problem. You're spending too much on lattes and Stanley Cups, right? So Biden said something scary, and I've heard this a couple of different times. So in a back room, Fox News reporter asked Biden about being impeached, and this is what he had to say.
To get rid of him, and let me remind you, when behind closed doors we told him you're getting ready to be impeached, he said, you're not going to like who comes next. I asked him if that was a threat. Whoa. He just smiled. This man is dangerous. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he is two-faced. We need to get rid of him now.
What did he mean, who comes next?
What did he mean by who comes next? You're not going to like who comes next. Like, we, the American people, don't actually elect these guys, and maybe there's a smoke-filled back room where the global elite choose who's going to be in that office. Yeah, Harris, that scares the shit out of me, Popeye. Absolutely right. You're not going to like who's coming next. What if it is Harris? Oh my gosh. I really would not like that. I can handle Trump. I cannot handle Harris, right? Harris is worse than Biden, for sure. We just want to say congratulations to the Mexican Cartel's Employee of the Month. That's right, Mr. Joe Biden. And Bidenomics, how Bidenomics works. You pay taxes, I send it to Ukraine, they send it back to Hunter, and Hunter gives the big guy 10%. That's how Bidenomics work. Oh, I'm glad we cleared that up. Now we know how it works, right? Case we didn't know. Breaking news, Hunter Biden had more coke on him. I don't know why this is just news now. So apparently, new court filing by the Department of Justice says the FBI found cocaine on Hunter Biden's gun pouch last year in 2023. You know, I just got to say, it must be fucking nice to be able to afford to lose as much cocaine as Hunter Biden loses. He just leaves it wherever, right? He gets a fucking eye. You don't know where it is. And, you know, you guys, I tell you all the time, I was married to a crackhead. And, you know, these pictures of Hunter Biden, these videos of him out there naked and he's weighing his crack out. And I heard Chris say this over on AM Wake Up. You know, that motherfucker's got videos of him where he's coked out and he's naked with a gun, because that's what crackheads do. I absolutely believe Hunter gets naked and high and is filming himself with this gun. You know it. I know it. I can vision it. Yeah, that's what they do. So are we shocked? Cokehead Hunter has more coke. I'm surprised that he can afford to lose this much coke. But, you know, when you're getting millions for sitting on the energy board of Burisma, you could buy as much coke as you want and leave it in the White House, leave it in your gun rack, leave it wherever. It don't matter. It'll be a surprise when you find it in the future, right? Oh my God. So the shit show does not end. We got to talk about neocon Icky, right? Icky Haley, she had a 19% showing in Iowa on Monday. What a fucking joke. Who actually believes that 19% of people were supporting her? She is the official uniparty candidate, right? The Democrats would be happy with her. Absolutely. So Babylon B again says, after a lackluster showing, Nikki Haley orders bombing of Iowa. Yeah. Neocon Nikki, she wants to blow up everything and everybody, right? You know, this woman doesn't have an original stance of her own. No. She has whatever stance the lobbyist, Unipac, whatever is tells her to have, right? That's who she is. She doesn't have an original thought or an original stance of her own. She just goes out there and says stupid ass shit every day. Yesterday, she was out there telling people America's never been racist. Okay, Nikki, I don't know where you've been, but that is effing funny. Why? Oh, Nikki Haley. This is another Nikki Haley. So this morning, or April 6th of 2020, Roseanne Barr tweeted this out this morning, but April 6th of 2020, Nikki Haley thanks Bill Gates. Nikki Haley says, thank you at Bill Gates for donating billions of dollars to construct factories that will manufacture the 7 most promising vaccines. This will keep us from losing any time as potential vaccines move through clinical trial process. Yeah, because we did a clinical trial process at all. And yeah, Roseanne just laughed at it. Can you imagine licking the ass of Bill Gates? That's who wants to be president. Yeah. Operation Warp Speed? Shit. If Nikki was in there, she would have freaking sent us all to the camp for not getting it, right? That woman's scary. I mean, we got some scary candidates, but I got to say, she's at the top of the list of super scary, if you ask me. Oh, Icky Haley. But Roseanne still supports Trump. Yes, Roseanne does still support Trump. You know, I'm not going to condemn the people who think that Trump's going to save us, but they need to wake the fuck up, because Trump is no different on Israel. Well, Roseanne's a Jew, so she supports the whole Israel thing, right? Yeah, I think she does. And so, yeah, they just look at Israel as they're the same. They're absolutely, the Democrats and the Republicans are 100% on board with this neocon march to fucking World War III. It's not going to stop with Israel. We saw that with Biden this week, right? I mean, we got to divert some of the attention away from the Hague and the genocide trial. So let's just start bombing Yemen and shit. We're already bombing Syria. Oh, I know. Let's send some troops to Iraq because that was a smart idea. They want the same thing at the end of the day. Doesn't matter. Left or right, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, I laugh and I rally Trump on, but at the end of the day, I know Trump's no better. I know Trump's not going to fix anything except for maybe make the economy a little better for some of us, right? But foreign policy, he's just as bad, I think. I don't know. Will Trump take Russia on? You guys tell me in the chat. Do you think that Trump will pull out of Ukraine if he got elected? I don't know. Because then the Dems would be like, "Oh my God, look at how weak he is on Putin. Look at how weak he is on Russia." Remember, they did that shit in 2016 and shoved Russiagate down our throats. So I don't know if Trump's going to be much better, guys. Craig Pastujardula, friend of the show, tweeted this out yesterday. It says, even Putin knows that massive mail-in voting is a scam. No joke. Election officials in Latin American countries' elections, I have observed, laugh at me when I ask if they have ever had mass mail-in ballots. Yeah, exactly. Let's hear from Putin. This has got subtitles. You got to read it.
Наверное, можно все сфальсифицировать, так как в Соединенных Штатах фальсифицировали предыдущие выборы через голосование по почте. Ну, понятно, что это голосование по почте. Скупали за $10 бюллетени.
$10 a ballot. He knows.
И без всякого наблюдения.
Absolutely. He's 100% on point there because it is $10 a ballot. That is exactly what got paid to the mob. It was $10 a ballot. Now think about it. If you have 350,000 extra ballots, think about how much money that is. That's a lot of money, guys, right? You can do the math. So that shocked me that Putin actually knew they were $10 a ballot, because only those who have been inside election integrity for the last 5 years understand that the going rate is $10 a ballot. I don't know. Ask Rashida Tlaib, right? Is she the one? Oh, no, it was Ilhan. Ilhan, I'm sorry, Rashida, but you're not much better. Anyways, Ilhan Omar, they were paying people $10 a ballot, if I remember right. Could be just my conspiracy. I don't know. Ryan Christian over at the Last American Vagabond did the most extensive breakdown on the World Economic Forum's Davos 2024 that I have seen so far. Definitely go check it out over on the Rumbles, or where else can you find him? I think he's on Rokfin too. Plus, he has his own website. But yeah, let's hear from the Last American Vagabond. And this will start out our World Economic Davos section. So Ryan says, if they're telling you that mis and disinformation are a bigger threat than their other illusionary issues like climate change, it means we are about to see a huge censorship push. This is why it's important to never self-censor. Stand on your ground.
For the global business community, the top concern for the next 2 years is not conflict or climate. It is disinformation and misinformation, followed closely by polarization within our societies. These risks are serious because they limit our ability to tackle the big global challenges we are facing.
Limit our ability to freaking control
changes in our climate and our geopolitical climate, shifts in our demography and in our technology, spiraling regional conflicts and intensified geopolitical competition and their impacts on supply chains. The sobering reality is that we are once again competing more intensely across countries than we have in several decades. And this makes the theme of this year's Davos meeting even more relevant: rebuilding trust.
They don't care if you trust them.
This is not a time for conflicts or polarization. This is a time to build trust. This is a time to drive global collaboration more than ever before. This requires immediate and structural responses to match the size of the global challenges. I believe it can be done.
Oh, you believe it can be done. Okay, so of course, this year's theme of Davos is rebuilding trust. They want your trust back. Why don't you trust them? Oh, I don't know, because they've been systematically trying to wipe us off the earth for a while now. Yeah, they don't give a shit about rebuilding trust. What they care about is you obeying what they want. They don't care about trust. This isn't, and then if they wanted to actually rebuild trust, they wouldn't come out in the first goddamn 5 minutes of it and say, oh, you guys eat too much mis and disinformation. That's our fucking problem, is you guys are too stupid to listen to what we're telling you guys. So we're going to make sure that you guys are listening to us going forward, right? Now, we talked about this just on Monday, a leaked email that came out of Google. And yeah, you could question the source of where it came, or who it went to, but I ain't questioning the source of where it came from. Now, it's being very clear. They're being very clear that there is going to be a terms of service update come February. Because, yeah, we've got an election season we've got to control, and we can't have it just, truth being out there like in the past. Oh, my God. So they are changing. They're going to change the things we're allowed to talk about. And when Ryan says, this is why it's so important to never self-censor, stand your ground, he's absolutely right. Some of us, we stay on YouTube. We black out the letters. We, talk in code. There's lots of ways we try to sidestep the censorship that's over here on some of these platforms, right? The X is getting just as damn bad. Pretty soon, you guys will not be able to find us on any Google-based places. And yeah, Discord, I believe Discord's even interfaced with Google. So you're going to have to go to places like Rokfin or Rumble, which I don't even trust Rumble when you understand who's behind Rumble. But or websites, lastamericanvagabond.com. These davidike.com. We're going to have to go find the truth ourselves. It's not going to be on these platforms that we're on, guys. We've been saying this for years, but yeah, Ursula She-Wolf of the SS. I know, as soon as they open their mouth, it's like I'm sitting in some Nazi movie from the 40s. I cannot help but conflate them with Nazis because of their authoritarian, totalitarian bullshit they've been rolling out on us for years now. Who even knew what the WEF was 10 years ago? Not many of us, right? Rumble doesn't censor in the fact that they shut you down. But what I have noticed about Rumble, and I've been on Rumble for a couple of years now, is you just get algorithmically suppressed. You just don't get put in the algorithm. There's, they have their ways, and YouTube does that too. They just suppress you algorithmically, and they don't have to worry about suppressing you or censoring you, right? That's how it goes. So that was just one of the first speeches we saw yesterday from Davos, or Monday and Tuesday. But here's a couple more clips. Let's see. This is Harvard's Naomi Orsicky. Is that how you say it? Orsicky? Says X is such a toxic place. What a scary name. Let's hear about how toxic X is.
For a long time I was on Twitter, and now it's become such a toxic place that I've concluded it's not a worthwhile place to spend time. And as you said, it is exhausting. So you do have to pick and choose, and you have to think about where are the places where you can get your message across. But I am trying to figure out, I have given up on X, what a scary name that even is, right? And I don't know what the alternative is right now. So
the question of the social media, I must say that I have abandoned Twitter too, so X, because it's a toxic environment, and we talk about, I have no solution on that, but I think one day it will come the moment of the code of conduct in these places, because journalists, if you spread crazy news and insults, and if a journalist says racist things, it can be amended. Exactly. Why social medias that have such big power, we still can because it's new, but I think there will be a societal reflection on how information is brought there. Of course, on X now there is also the policy of the owner that is problematic. But I think this is a problem of the society of the future, the deontology in social media.
Oh my God, that was so gross. So remember, George Orwell, author of 1984, said, every record has been destroyed or falsified, every book rewritten, every picture has been repainted, every statue and street building has been renamed, every date has been altered, and the process is continuing day by day and minute by minute. History has stopped. Nothing exists except an endless presence in which the party is always right. Yes, that is where we are at. That's where, ninth grade English, we had to read Animal Farm, right? Orwell's Animal Farm. That was required reading. And I remember reading it. And I understood what it was applying to, socialism, Nazism, communism, but in my mind, I conflated that to something that had happened 80 years ago, right? World War II was so far away. I don't even understand what the lesson of this is, because that's never going to happen again. We stopped the Nazis. We live in a free country. And now here I sit 40 years later, looking back going, holy shit, it was all right there for us to see that it was going to come back around again, right? And it has come back around again, and it's going to get worse. The next 8 months are going to be a nightmare for censorship, and we know it. Let's see. I got one more. Old Jake Sullivan had to apparently he was one of the speakers that was invited, because they need the State Department there. Let's hear what he had to say.
That order seems to not be the order anymore. We are on the way to a new order, so we are between orders. Do you agree with that, or are there ways of what are we able to keep on the positive side from the old order to bring into a new world order, and how can we avoid that new world order becomes like a jungle growing back, and we rather have an order based on international law and the principles that have brought us prosperity and freedom for decades?
I guess, and maybe this is the old kind of teacher me coming out. I think of this a little bit more about a transition of eras rather than a transition of orders, but the two are kind of cousins of one another. The reason I draw the distinction is because I don't think the international order built after 1945 is getting replaced wholesale with some new order. It will obviously evolve as it has evolved multiple times over the decades since 1945. But I do think in a more sharp and distinctive way, we are moving into a new era, and that's what I talked about in my
new world
remarks,
order.
that we are, the post-Cold War era has come to a close. We're at the start of something new. We have the capacity to shape what that looks like, and at the heart of it will be many of the core principles and core institutions of the existing order, adapted for the challenges that we face today.
Oh God, I wish there was some ally alliance that would come kick our ass. I'm just so over this. He was too chicken shit to say New World Order. We've heard it a billion times over the years. That's exactly what it is. They know that we have the ability to influence what that looks like. Yeah, you have the ability to influence all of it, right? Yeah, I had to bring this just because, hey, guess who was on his way to Davos? And guess what he's going to talk about? Well, he's going to tell you.
Plantar las ideas de la libertad en un foro que está contaminado de la agenda socialista 2030 y que lo único que va a traer es miseria al mundo. Que la libertad es la llave de la prosperidad.
¿Cuál es el sentido de la reunión que mantener la audiencia de
seguir hablando y dejándole bien claro de la convicción que tenemos en este cambio de rumbo que ha marcado el nuevo gobierno. Muchas gracias.
Oh my gosh. So that was Javier Milei. Of course, he is the Napoleon of Venezuela or Argentina, right? Argentina Nazi fuck, right? He goes and he says, oh, the frickin' socialists. We have to stop the socialists. That's why he was going to Davos, to tell everybody the socialists are bad. Thank you for refacing that for me, Oz. I did catch that. Oz has been sneaking in upscaling my deck. So no, things aren't getting worse. They're just getting more obvious. Yes. That one's going to stick around for a while. Thank you, Oz. And we can't talk about Davos without talking about the sex workers, right? Because last year and the year before, when we covered Davos, we had a lot of articles about the sex workers that come into Davos to service the world's elite, right? Well, this is no different this year. So sex workers are fully booked at Davos. This year's WEF meeting at Davos appears to be heading in the usual direction of a drug-fueled bungalow sex party. A local escort service website officially announces all local service providers are completely booked during the WEF week. WEF 2024 theme is rebuilding trust. The source, Daily Mail. Yeah, so this is not the first time we've seen that. They make a lot of money, man, in Davos at this time of year. So shout out to the sex workers. Hey, at least you're getting something out of the fucking global elite, right? Better than the rest of us. Are we shocked, though? When you know what Klaus is really about, are we shocked? I mean, we call them Satanist pedophiles for a reason. Yeah. Remember when Klaus dressed up like this and walked around town and everybody said, no, that's not Klaus. And everybody said, yes, that is Klaus. I'm still betting it was Klaus. Oh my gosh, it's so gross. I'll never get these images out of my mind, right? I'll never forget when I sent Oz that one where he's in white and he's got the sock around his dick. Oz was like, no way, that can't be real. That's real. So gross. Okay, so let's be done talking about the World Economic Forum, but let's talk about Tedros and the WHO, the World Health Organization, little brother of the WEF, because they listen to everything the WEF says. So yeah, let's hear what Tedros has to say.
Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus should be put on trial for crimes against humanity. This might seem like a hyperbolic statement, but I'm going to lay out the evidence for my case so you can make up your own mind about the director of the World Health Organization. Tedros, as well as being the first World Health Organization director without a medical degree, also has somewhat of a political background. On his online biography, you can see that he was the Ethiopian health minister from 2002 to 2012. It somehow neglects to mention his other role as the Ethiopian foreign minister from 2012 to 2017, before his WHO appointment. Now, I wonder why they would have left that out. Because aside from his medical credentials, Tedros also happens to be a member of the Tigray People's Liberation Front, which is an organization about as peaceful as the name suggests. It was founded as a communist revolutionary party that came to power in 1991 and overthrew the Mengistu dictatorship, forming a coalition with two other ethnic parties. Over time, the TPLF, Tigray People's Liberation Front, began to exert more and more influence over the other two parties. In Ethiopia, most military generals and key leaders of the government are all Tigray, including the president who ruled Ethiopia for 21 years until his death. The Tigray represent only 6% of the population of Ethiopia. One of the major ethnic groups are the Amhara, who mostly made up the government during the Mengistu dictatorship. Favourable treatment of the Amhara under Mengistu didn't win them many friends, so much so that the TPLF 1968 manifesto declared the Amhara people to be their eternal enemy. And Tedros himself hails from the Tigray region and was a senior member of the party when it came to power. Just how senior was he? Well, this Ethiopian newspaper lists him as the third most important member of the Politburo, which gives the impression he was slightly more important than just a medical administrator. The TPLF was listed as a terrorist organization by the US government in the 90s, and it's still listed as a terrorist organization in the Global Terror Database, because it has this unfortunate habit of carrying out armed assaults in rural areas.
So we're turning over global sovereignty to a motherfucker who doesn't even have a medical degree. What? No, I'm never shocked. I'm never shocked by this. But I think this next video you will be shocked by, because yet again, their sick fucking kinks are out on display. And you could say this isn't Ted Rose, whatever you want to call him, but I think it is him. I don't know. He's getting a little funky here. So here we go. Here's Ted Rose, the head of the WHO.
This is Tedros, head of the WHO, who will soon have control over every country and the pandemic. Do you trust him? I don't.
Oh my gosh. Was that really him? Was that really him? I think it's really him. You're with him. We all have kinks. Yes, we do all have kinks, but you know what? You don't put it out there in fucking public when you're head of the WHO. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You keep that shit behind closed doors. Why do they think it's okay to put this shit on fucking public view? Let's remember Valerie Jarrett and Podesta. Remember they did this crazy shit too. Nice moves. He did have some nice samba moves, right? I don't know, but I do know that a biometric digital ID isn't to keep the kids safe on the internet. It's to track you everywhere. You know that, right? You do. That is a great reface, Oz. Thank you. I think I refaced it, but maybe Oz upscaled it. Yeah. Digital IDs are coming for you. Did you guys hear about this? So Chinese scientists created a mutant strain of coronavirus that pretty much turns everybody into the Walking Dead. Like that is no fucking joke. Like it eats your brain. It turns your eyes white. You're still alive, but you wish you were dead. They were just fucking around. Why not? Why not? What could it hurt? So Chinese scientists create a mutant corona strain that attacks the brain and has 100% kill rate in mice, as they admit that a risk it could spill over to humans. So why even make it would be the question, right? I don't know. Let's hear from Redacted. We haven't had Redacted on the deck in a while. Let's hear from Clayton and what is her name? Clayton, and it'll come to me. It will.
This paper here that I'm about to show you. This paper comes out of China just early January 2024, showing that scientists accidentally found a strain of COVID that was 100% fatal in transgenic mice. Hold your questions about transgenic mice. See here, they're warning about the spillover risk, but that's only a concern because it was created in the first place. If they hadn't created it, they wouldn't have to worry about it spilling because it otherwise did not exist. This is not like Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Like it didn't exist and now it exists, and that makes it a danger. When it did not exist, there was no risk of observing a spillover, right? Now, it didn't seem like they created on purpose. They were doing gain of function research, which basically means they were manipulating diseases. They found this one in a pangolin. This is a pangolin. Look how cute he is. Dr. John Campbell's channel about this, he claims that the pangolin is a highly abused species in laboratories. For whatever reason in China, they like to experiment on this guy. I don't like that.
He's like a dinosaur. He's a living dinosaur.
Aw, why do they always gotta fuck with the cute little animals? I will never understand that either. Why did they have to do this? Because this is what they do. They've been doing gain of function research forever now. That's how we ended up with the last one, even though they tell us it's totally different, right? We've been telling you. Brave New Future's been telling you. We know where it came from. So we're not going to be shocked when disease X, right, which is the fictitious disease, it's a placeholder for the next disease, is what Davos and the World Economic Forum and the WHO are all saying, right? But what if it's something like this that they slip in there? Very, very freaking scary. I'm not sure what this is, but explain it to me like I took the vaccine for a donut. That's a pretty funny one. Well, let's just watch it and see what it is.
Health officials in Virginia are warning travelers at Dulles and Reagan airports that they may have been exposed to highly contagious measles. The Virginia Department of Health says the warning is linked to an international traveler who was at the international arrivals at Dulles Airport between 4 and 8 o'clock on Wednesday, January the 3rd, then at Terminal A at Reagan Airport the following day between 2:30 and 6:30 in the afternoon. They added the virus can stay in the air as long as 2 hours after the presence of an infected person, and for those who step foot in the airports to watch for symptoms until January the 24th.
So there you are. Extremely contagious measles outbreak goes from Dulles to Reagan International, which makes no sense to me because normally you either fly into Dulles or you fly into Reagan. Like they must have took a shuttle from Dulles to Reagan. That's kind of weird, but you probably could have drove a car there faster. But just saying, that's weird. Anybody who was out there, be careful. Who knows? Who knows why these things are the way they are, right? Or where it came from. Is it intentional? Who knows? Let's see. David Icke, what the fuck? I mean, what the fuck? Yeah, why do we have these freaking monarchs that nobody votes for still? When are we going to stop this shit? Oh, yeah, we've evolved so much. We did not vote for these inbred idiots. No, we did not vote for them. Somebody did, but we didn't, right? I think it was the Rothschilds. You know, that rich family that's not rich, that nobody knows about, that's not even on the top 50 richest people in the world's list that I just saw the other day. Like, oh, come on. Oh, come on. You want me to believe the Rothschilds have lost all their money? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Holy shit. What is this? Wow. They are now saying it out in the open. 0 fucks to give. I'm not sure. This must have got added last minute, or maybe Oz put it in here. Let's check it out what it is. It looks like it's a memeology. So, honey, please wake up your son. Left and right is an illusion to pacify the debt slaves while the oligarch installs their digital controlled grid. Oh, yeah.
Apparently, and we need immigrants in this country. Forget the fact that the farm, that our vegetables would rot in the ground if they weren't being picked by many immigrants, many illegal immigrants.
That's racist.
The fact is that the birth rate in this country is way below replacement level, which means our population is going to start shrinking. And the ratio of people on Social Security and Medicare is going to increase relative to the number of people supporting them. This is a problem faced by every major country in the world. Few countries, however, have the means to solve this problem through immigration. People want to immigrate to the United States. They do not want to immigrate to China or Russia. We are very lucky in that respect.
Speak for yourself.
And we should promote it and regulate it properly rather than denounce it ignorantly. The fact is that the birth rate in this country is way below replacement level, which means our population is going to start shrinking. Few countries, however, have the means to solve this problem through immigration.
Okay. So we've been told for many, many, many years, right? And anybody who's flown out of any major city, you can just look down and see the cancer that we are, that there's too many people on the earth, right? The Georgia Guidestones, the eugenicists, I mean, the global elites, they're all saying there's too many of you motherfuckers out there. Well, now they're doing a 180. And so the messaging pre-COVID was there's too much population, too many people. We got to cut down on the people. Now we're hearing a whole different fucking story. Why are we hearing a whole different story? Well, it couldn't have anything to do with the fact that they, got rid of a huge swath during COVID. And not to mention, and we talked about this on Monday, the Gen Zers who have completely disattached themselves from the normal reproduction of the human race, right? They're so they're incels. They don't know how to communicate with each other. And then of course you got the OnlyFans models. They're not having kids. They're not replacing. So we have to have a certain amount of kids born every year to replace the population that we had, right? And we keep hearing how China's in deep shit because China had the one China, right? They only had one, you were allowed one child all through the, mid 70s and 80s, right? Well, that came back to bite them in the ass because there's no kids there, for one, to take care of the parents anymore because, hey, you were only allowed one kid, right? And that one kid, they didn't want girls, they wanted boys. So there was nobody to have more kids with because, hey, we kept the boys, not the girls. And yeah, China's got a big problem they're going to have to rectify here because of that. And the global population is going to start dropping off. It already is, but it's seriously going to start dropping off very soon. And you guys know I love True Stream Media. I love those guys over there. Melissa Dykes has done an amazing breakdown of this. You might want to go check it out over on True Stream. I brought you the first 2 or 3 minutes of it, but it's 45 minutes long. So packed full of information. I have to do a 180 from where I was, guys. I used to sit right here in my chair 5 years ago when I started this and say, oh, there's too many fucking people on the planet. Their population, that's what climate issues are coming from, is there's too many of us. We consume. I don't know if that's true anymore. I really, in my heart, think that they're doing a good job of depopulating us because isn't that their goal at the end of the day? Okay, so let's hear from True Stream. And yeah, fuck the WEF.
We live in a world that glamorizes and promotes the child-free life. And we've been seeing this for a while, that they really, that's what gets pushed, that's what gets promoted, it's what gets glamorized. There's a new trend now called DINKS, which I didn't make up. This stands for double income, no kids. So it's DINKS. And this is people who, again, these are people who refer to themselves as DINKS. By choice, they're doing this. They say they're DINKS. And they're doing dink dances on TikTok. And it's supposed to be really exciting because they can do whatever they want whenever they want because they don't have any small humans to be financially or otherwise responsible for.
We're DINKS. We're going to go to Costco and buy all the snacks in bulk that we want.
We're DINKS. We have disposable income to spend on whatever we would like and don't have to spend on a kid.
We're DINKS. I'm going to go to every football game and play 18 holes whenever I want.
We're DINKS. We're going to get asked to every single family event what we're doing with our life.
But the same world that's promoting that image is reaching a point where in the not too distant future, we as a human race will simply no longer be replacing ourselves.
Okay, so what is total fertility rate? It's the number of children, average number of children you can expect a woman to have throughout their reproductive years, assuming they make it. So this has been going down in pretty much all societies. It's gone down really dramatically in the most advanced societies. And we can see that obviously in a country like the United States, and you can see it in countries like South Korea and China as they become much more advanced economically and educationally. You could argue it's good if you were worried about overpopulation, but maybe we shouldn't be so worried about that now. Now there's a emerging worry about underpopulation, about underfertility, that to some extent the dynamism of a society and its potential for economic growth can be undercut by having too low a fertility rate and not having enough relatively young people in the workforce, that therefore have to support declining relative number of young workers, have to support a relatively large growing population of old people, and that doesn't sound like it'll turn out well. So I think that is a real worry now that we're undercutting, advanced societies undercutting the potential for economic growth by actually not having too much fertility, but rather too little.
Okay, so like I said, that was like a 45-minute. She's got so much good information packed in there. She really goes in depth of China, America, and yeah, we've got a problem. You know, as a mother of 3 kids and as a grandmother, I feel like the only fucking thing I've ever accomplished in my life was to continue on the human race. Honestly, guys, I do. And I'm not dogging on anybody who hasn't had kids. I'm just saying, when I think about the moments in my life, what was the most important moments of my life? It was giving birth to my kids. It was knowing that my legacy is going to live on through them. My dreams, my hopes, are instilled in their DNA. And I don't think that we give enough credit to genetics, when we pass that down to our kids. Because if you've ever, okay, I'll give you an example. My little brother, I'm an Irish twin. So my little brother, he he was so much like my real dad. And we didn't really know my real dad till we got older. He was in our lives till we were like 4 or 5, and then he moved away, and we would visit with him until we got to preteens. And then of course we went and lived with him. And when I first got down there at 13 years old, my brother was already living with my dad, and I hadn't seen him in like 6 months. And I was shocked. I was shocked at how many of the mannerisms my brother had that my dad had, that were his genetics, right? That were just like, holy shit, like genetics are a big thing. And as we go forward, we're going to have designer babies. Only rich people will be able to have kids, right? In the on the grid cities, right? For the 15-minute cities. If you are in the system, you're going to have to play by the system's rules in order to procreate and have a child, be that, picking one out, cloning, whatever. Who knows what it'll be. But then there'll be the poor people. And of course, they will try to sterilize. They will birth control. They will try to control the poor people reproducing. Absolutely 100%. That's what the future looks like. And we know that. We know that. I mean, and if you don't know that, just go look at what the Georgia Guidestones used to say, right? They want to get that population down. They don't need us now. They've got AI, they've got robots, right? They used to need a shit ton of us to work in their factories and to plow their fields, but they definitely don't need that shit anymore. So the future is not bright, especially if you're poor. Yeah, they're going to feed us Soylent Green anyways, huh, Popeye? So it's probably best we're not having kids so they don't have to, eat human. Let's see. Oz brought us this. Yeah, Zog, a Zionist-occupied government. Oh, we have lots of those. Revolutionary Blackout Network says Zionism is the #1 enemy of free speech and a free press. Absolutely. Hotspot says CNN now admits they have to get all stories about Israel's genocide in Gaza approved by the Israel authority in Jerusalem. Well, we know that the IDF was approving pretty much everything that was getting seen on CNN and MSNBC. So yeah, this doesn't surprise me one bit. So let's hear from Natalie and Clayton again.
Any more confirmation that the mainstream media is corrupt? We just got our clearest indication yet. CNN is now admitting that they have to get approval from Israel before they run any news pieces about the war in Gaza. Can you imagine that? So CNN, which purports to be an independent news organization, right, the most trusted name in news, has to run things up the flagpole in order to before broadcast. So a CNN whistleblower has come forward admitting to The Intercept that CNN has a long-time relationship with the Censor Bureau in Jerusalem. So let's just go through this piece. And you can see here, CNN runs Gaza coverage past Jerusalem team operating under shadow of an IDF censor, the Israeli Defense Forces censor. So every single Palestinian-related line for reporting must seek approval from the Jerusalem Bureau, according to the whistleblower. Or what the Bureau, when the Bureau is not staffed, like if they're on vacation, then they have to take it to a few hand-picked by the Bureau and senior management, from which lines are most often edited out with a very specific nuance, the staffer says. So they basically go through and then chop out anything that's not pro-Israel and is, maybe they chop out whatever sort of is pro-Palestinian.
Are we shocked by this? I think this didn't even need to be said. We all fucking knew that the IDF controls whatever the Democrats and the Biden administration's putting out there. Obviously, duh. We haven't watched any of the State Department's briefings because they just regurgitate whatever the IDF is saying. Yeah, this is just more censorship. This is what we live under. Let's see, what do we got? Claire Daly. Oh my God, Claire killed it yesterday. Such a great job. I love this clip. I see everybody sharing it as well as it should be shared. We need a million more Claire Dalys in the world. Claire Daly says, as Israel loses in the court of public opinion, we see desperate attempts to widen the conflict. Yeah, let's hear from Claire.
Despite the catastrophic death toll it has inflicted, Israel is losing on the ground and in the court of public opinion. There's no way that this ends that doesn't leave Israel a pariah state with occupation and apartheid on borrowed time, and they know it. So they're doing everything they can. Desperate acts of aggression to provoke a wider conflict with Lebanon, with Iran, with anybody, to draw in the US, to save them from the consequences of their own actions. And as Yemen shows, Butcher Biden is reporting for duty. With Europe's proud genocide by his side, they are the ones who have enabled the continuation of Israeli terror. Without them, it would already be over. So take note, Butcher Biden. The ancestors of the Ireland that you claim to be from disown you. Yeah. Keep our country out of your mouth. And as for von der Leyen and genocidal Germany, with your words and deeds supporting Israel in the ICJ, not in our name. The people of Europe stand with Palestine and with South Africa.
Oh, snap. I need Howard Dean going, woo! Yeah, Biden, you got just disowned by Ireland. That's awesome. Claire, perfect, beautiful. And the Butcher Biden. Yeah, he is a Butcher Biden, and we know that. Great reface, Oz. Thank you so much. I'm standing there next to Super Pasta. That's the original Super Pasta, right? I see Oz is standing next to me. Are you a cop, Oz? You're a cop. You look like the Boss Haas. Yeah, Boss Haas from Dukes of Hazzard. Good one. Fee says, now, oh, I was like, where the hell is the background? Fee says, I brought us a little clip from Fee. Of course, Fee's doing great work out there. And yeah, let's hear what Fee has to say. If I can get it to work. My deck's glitching out. Let's see. Come on. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. See, this is Google. This is Google controlling what I'm saying because they don't like RT. So Google is trying to censor that. I'm going to go back and we're going to try again and see if I can get it to go. Let's see if we can get it to go. Come on, Fee, work. Come on, Fee, work. What if, there we go.
As the number of pro-Palestinian rallies increase all across the globe,
don't glitch
more and
out.
more people are tuning out Israel's narrative. And despite Washington ramping up its weapons supplies to Tel Aviv, even they are starting to falter in their support.
Israel's security can rest on the United States, but right now it has more than the United States. It has the European Union. It has Europe. It has most of the world supporting them. But they are starting to lose that support by indiscriminate bombing that takes place.
Palestinian civilians must be able to return home as soon as conditions allow. They cannot. They must not be pressed to leave Gaza. We reject the statements by some Israeli ministers and lawmakers calling for a resettlement of Palestinians outside of Gaza. These statements are irresponsible, they're inflammatory.
Washington has even warned that Israel may actually lose the war if they continue down this path.
The lesson is not that you can win in urban warfare by protecting civilians. The lesson is that you can only win in urban warfare by protecting civilians.
But it seems like Israel is not open to its partners' criticism as it showers Gaza with more airstrikes. Things are so bad that some Israeli civilians are calling for Netanyahu's removal, angry that he's treating Israeli hostages as collateral damage. So with what's happening in Gaza being called, quote, the deadliest conflict in the 21st century, and with the death toll continuing to rise, it all begs the question, what can actually be done to stop it all?
What can be done, Fee? What can be done? I love Fee. Fee out there. Fee says, make sure you guys are watching RT. You have to go to RT. It's hard to come across RT anymore because it's so censored everywhere. But I had not seen that clip of Anthony Blinken anywhere. Had you? I had not seen that quote from Lloyd Austin. Had you? I wonder if he said that before or after he was in the hospital. They do say he's working from his bed, so you never know. Good job, Fee. Chris Hedges got dropped an amazing article yesterday. I just wanted to give you guys some information out of it because he really highlights what we're looking at. Because so the ICJ is kind of over for now, right? Let's bring the article in. Come on. Why am I locked up? Stop it. Stop it. Come on. Oh, now I can't bring anything in. What is your problem? Apparently my internet's crap today. I lost my deck and I can't get it back in. Come on. Come on. I don't know. I'm going to have to do a complete... Is my internet out? Yeah, my internet's out. God dang it. Come on, internet. Come on, internet. Come back. Come back, internet. Yeah, you guys, I'm locked up. I don't know what to tell you. Come on. I just did an update. Let's see if it worked. Nope. Come on. Damn it. Am I dead in the water or what? I am dead in the water. Okay, let's see. Did we get it? No. Work. You got to work. Nope. Oh, my internet's tanking. I can't even type a message. Oh, I'm so dead in the water right now. Okay, guys. Come on. Come on. Let's try one more time. Oh, fuck. Don't trigger me again. Yeah, see what I get for showing that RT clip? I am completely fucking locked up. Oh, this is annoying. Well, I guess my show's done for the day. Shit. You can still hear me? As long as you guys can hear me, I'll just sit here and talk shit to you guys. Oh, here, I'll read the Chris Hedges article to you. Oh, no, I can't because I can't get it to scroll. Come on, internet, come back. I haven't seen my internet be this bad in a long time. Come on. When I click it, it just goes, doo-doo. Do you guys hear it? Oh my God, I'm so locked up. I can't even, I was going to read you guys the Chris Hedges article, but it won't scroll. But basically what he said, oh, we're moving. Come on. Tell me I got internet. Nope. Okay. I think maybe it's coming back though. I got one thing to move. I just got gaslit again. Damn it. Did you guys see Bernie Sanders? He was going to hold Israel accountable. Yeah. Yeah, he got shut the fuck down, right? Oh, come on. I guess my show's over, guys. I cannot. Nothing will update. Nothing will move. I'm completely locked up. I guess it's just the way things are today. Fuck. What can I do? I don't know if I can go out and come back in because it's going to drop all of the streams if I go out. I'm already dead on Rumble. Damn it. No, you guys are sitting there watching Fee, right? Yeah, I'm dead. Well, we tried today, guys. I don't know what else to tell you. If you can still hear me, don't give up yet. Don't give up yet. I've never seen the internet go out this long. It's like my computer's totally locked up. And of course, I have the stupidest look on my face. I always do, right? Yeah, it won't. Come on. I'm trying everything to reboot. It will not reboot. I can't shut a screen down. I can't do anything. The only thing I can do is scroll through my deck, which is weird. Why can I scroll through the deck, but nothing else will work? Come on. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to call this one. I don't know what else to tell you. Damn it. But that's okay. We got lots of good stuff I can bring over to Saturday, so none of this stuff will go to waste. I want to fatten her up with my cooking. Who, Fee? I don't think she would appreciate that. Oh my God, I think it might be working. Come on. Oh, my, come on. Oh, no, it psyched me out again. Yeah, no, it's not working. Everything is locked up, guys. Okay, well, I'm going to get out of here because I probably have to walk to the store in the snow so I can get nicotine because it's been a bad day. And I definitely, but I didn't start smoking. I was ready to break and start smoking yesterday and I didn't. So yay for me. But I got an hourglass now. Come on, work for me. Nope. I can't even close my stream. It won't even shut it down. I would have to do like an entire dump and reboot in order to shut these streams down right now. That's how locked up I am. So crazy. Yeah, I can't even shut the stream down. Well, you guys have a great day. Audio is clear as a bell. Are you serious? The audio is still clear as a bell, but you guys can't see me. You can't see my deck. That's because I showed RT. I know it. Fee, this is all because of you, isn't it? It's because I showed you guys Fee. I can't even shut the stream down. Like, seriously, it's so locked up. Everything I click just goes doom, doom, doom. Yep. Nope. Come on. Yeah, I am totally locked down, man.